Hi, and welcome back to Our World of Wonders. I'm Michelle, and Charlotte isn't with me again today because she's at work. And this is the part two of our Union Cemetery run that we did last fall in 2013. We're back at the Bowl Stone. As you can see, we've spent a fair bit of time around this stone, and what I want to draw your attention to is the little lights that I was talking about before are reappearing in this picture. When I crop to the left, you can see the two little unusual lights that we have to the left of the stone. And also we have a crop just opposite on the right side of the bowl. And I know a lot of you people out there are going to be watching and going, oh, those are bugs, or they're moths, or they're, something along those lines. It was bright enough for us to see moths when they flew by. We did see maybe 3 that night. Like when you're walking through the grass and they fly up, you could physically see them. These were things that I was picking up on my camera, yet Charlotte, who had a bigger camera and a brighter flash than mine, was not picking them up. So that is a bit of an anomaly. If it was a moth and it was flying, we were trying to take 2 or 3 pictures at a time in succession fairly quickly of one another. It still would have been in frame, or within some of the wide shots. So it's kind of hard to explain what the lights could be. Yes, sometimes you can get moths and insects reflecting light back at you. We'll carry on and see what else we can find in here. And yes, the lights will crop up again. This is a Celtic cross stone. There's several in this cemetery. And if we look to the left of the cross, you can see very faint orb, almost a center across from the arm of the cross itself. Very faint, which, like I say, we wouldn't have been able to find if we hadn't used the computer and blown it up to see better. And on the bottom right of this cross, you'll find a little light that is sort of a heart-shaped light, and we did see a lot of heart shapes or V-shaped lights during this night that we were here. And like I'll say, we did see a couple of moths, but it was light enough to distinguish this is a white moth sitting on the grass. We could physically see the moths with our eyes. So this is kind of interesting. We're not sure about the little lights, but we did have an awful lot of these weird little lights appearing. This is the next photograph. It's near a tree. You can see the tree trunk and a bit of the branches coming down. And there's 3 orbs that you can see in this picture. There's the crop. You can see sort of to the upper center to the right, a larger one, then a smaller one on an angle up, sort of, I don't know, to the center middle, and a tiny one down in the bottom left-hand corner. Very interesting. This is the next picture. You can see the tree just above the stone in front of the green watering can. We've got 2 more of these mysterious lights, and when you crop it, you can see the heart shapes that I'm talking about, or the V-type shape. Mysterious, it's hard to tell, but very, very interesting that we were finding them all over the place. Or at least I was finding them. Charlotte didn't get so many. And we were both within, several, feet of each other, like, several meters, I suppose. So if there was something in the air, she should have caught it reflecting the light as well, and didn't. So that is one thing to remember. If they were flying by in front of the view of the camera, she should have got them as well. And here's some more orbs. You can see just under the limb to the left. And I believe there's another smaller one just over. We'll take a look at the crop that I did. That's the large one. Is there an orb at the bottom right? So you can see one very, very faint, and the one near the branch incredibly bright, very clear. You can see that really well. Here's another good orb photograph. I just call it the green bush with the red flowers because that's what's in there that I can reference to. You can see sort of the center of a kind of a really bright one, and off to the left there's several, I believe 3, very faint orbs. Just as a note of interest, we did get a lot of orbs near and around flowers. I'm not sure, not every picture, but it did seem to have some type of a relevance on this particular night. So we've got a crop of the corner where you can see the bright smaller orb, and then the 3 going up from the almost bottom left up across the corner there. So very interesting photograph. Okay, here's Celtic Cross again. There were several of them in the cemetery, so which one's which I'm not sure. There is a very faint one that is above the stone, and because I was being drawn to that, I took another picture a little closer, and you can definitely see the 3 orbs that are near this stone. They're too faint to actually crop and get a good picture of, but you can still see them. And here's a picture of Charlotte. No orbs in this picture, but it's a really nice picture of Charlotte. And you can see we were having quite an interesting night. And although it was very hot, there was no dew on the grass, which is kind of important because dew could, like if it was very dewy and your shoes were wet, you would expect the camera flashes to get captured within the dew and reflect back, which that wasn't happening that night. So we can't say that some of the little lights that we were capturing were just dew on the grass. That's another thing that you do need to take note of, what the weather conditions are like, what the grass is like, is there dew, or frost, or, those types of things you do have to take into consideration. And here is another one of those little lights, and you'll notice directly above red flowers, there did seem to be a lot of pictures taken near and around flowers, although you could say that about any cemetery. There are a lot of flowers around, but it is notable that it did happen around flowers quite a bit. So that's the conclusion of our second group of photos from Union Cemetery. Again, a very interesting group of photographs. So I'm Michelle, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Our World of Wonders. And my best friend Charlotte will be talking to you live soon. We're going to be going, I'm hoping within the next few weeks, to a very special location in Cobourg that's known for its hauntedness, and a place where I had a little bit of a run-in with somebody. So if you've been watching the videos, you might be able to guess where we're going. Have a wonderful time until we meet you again, and blessed be to all of you. Thanks for tuning in.